Welcome to the episode of making filter coffee. And for making filter coffee, you need filter. Talking about the South Indian filter coffee, it's a very different blend of coffees altogether. Over the world, we have different kinds of coffees, right? So the South Indian version is quite different. Over here, the beans are roasted along with a different element known as chicory. So what is chicory? Chicory is an element which makes the filter coffee a very unique thing. Chicory is a different bean which is added to the filter coffee in different proportions. Now you get the 90-10, the 80-20 and the 70-30. So over here the ratio is described as 90% of coffee with 10% of chicory, and then we have 80% of coffee with 20% of chicory, then we have 70 and 30 for the same. So chicory adds thickness to the milk, which gives a very thick texture to your coffee, and when you are actually having a sip, it lasts a bit longer on your palate. So let's understand the body of the filter. This is the lid, this is the top chamber, this is the bottom chamber. Now bottom chamber का तो काम ये है कि इसमें तुम लोग का final decoction collect होके तुम लोग को मिल जाएगा, बाकी कुछ नहीं. This is as good as a glass, okay? This is main, ठीक है? इधर आओ. Look inside this. Here you can see it is percolated from the bottom. You have small holes. जितना छोटा तुम लोग के फिल्टर का होल है उतना ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा डिकॉक्शन मिलने में. You have this thing called as a plunger. Okay. Now when you are putting coffee inside this, you will put this to press and pressurize the coffee. Now this thing would level up according to the coffee that you put inside this. Okay. Now this is your upper part and this is your bottom part. This is your filter coffee. Okay. So let's get into making. Some tips for best filter coffee, okay? First of all, this plunger, make sure that you don't press it too hard and don't leave it too soft. Just give the optimum amount of pressure on this, because if you press it too hard, water won't let inside these pores and you'll get your decoction bit late. Another thing, if you have these holes clogged up, what you can do is just simply press this or keep this on your direct flame. The clogs will get declogged and you'll get your filter done. So make sure you pour hot water, real hot water. Make sure the water is bubbling when you are taking up from the vessel, and when it just leaves those bubbles, it gets clear on the surface, you pour it directly, okay? When you are actually making the decoction, I prefer heating 1 spoon of filter coffee along with the water that we are putting to boil. Now what happens is, usually it is advised not to boil the powder of filter coffee. It is because it loses all of its essential oils. Now coffee beans have a very minimal essence of oils in them. Now these aromatic oils give the coffee its flavor. Now when you boil it, like the other counterpart, like the way we do with tea leaves, when we boil filter coffee, it happens to lose its oils. So that is why it is not advised to boil filter coffee. But when it comes to my version, what I do is I take one small spoon of filter coffee, I put it to the container in which I am boiling water, and along with the boiling water, it infuses its flavor and a bit of its brown color. So that gives your filter coffee a double strong flavor if you like your coffee a bit strong. If in case, usually on an average, the filter coffee takes 40 to 45 minutes depending on the thickness and the coarseness of your powder. It takes 40 to 45 minutes for your decoction to collect in the container. So what you can do is, when you're going to sleep in the night, you can actually prepare the decoction, pour in the hot water, and by morning you'll get your decoction ready. So that's how people do in households. You'll get your decoction in the morning ready. You can boil your milk and get your coffee ready. And personally, I prefer to roast my beans and take it to the mill and get it done. What I do is, I take for coffee, at least I take the 70-30 version. In that, I take 250 grams of pea berry and 250 grams of plantation bee, and then 30% of sugar, that is chicory. So that's how I take my proportions. If not, you can get in ready-made brands as well. And if you are actually looking for authentic brands, Kothas is good brand. Then you have Kumbakonam degree roasted coffee, which also gives a good flavor. Then if you're looking for a more winter season taste, you can go for Nei roasted coffee, that is coffee roasted in ghee. That you can go for it. So that's why filter coffee is made for your mornings with the perfect Carnatic violin playing behind, and that's how you would like to enjoy your filter coffee. It's almost 45 minutes now. Let's check our coffee. Yeah, so once you see the water has seeped inside, you should understand that the coffee is ready. Now just lift it and see the decoction collected below. Okay, you can see pores from below. It's still dripping down. Okay, now we'll use this decoction to make a good coffee. First you need to put in sugar inside your filter. Okay, ideally 2 spoons sugar would be enough for this tumbler. This is an ideal size of a tumbler. Okay, serves one person coffee. Now, how much decoction you should take? This is 70-30. This much of decoction would be enough. If it is 80-20, this much, and 90-10, very strong decoction, very thick decoction, this much would be enough. Okay. Now here, I'll just show you. You can see how thick and fresh the decoction is. This much of decoction is enough. The rest of it would go for your milk. Okay. So it's always advisable to use cow's milk more for your filter coffee, because it gives it a more authentic taste. You can use the full fat version as well, that is the buffalo one. But then this one, try to stick to this one for your first time, so that you get a more better taste. Okay. So milk is pretty hot now. Let's pour it straight into our tumbler. Very authentic flavor indeed. Now the second step that you do after this is you need to dissolve the sugar, and for that you will have to do this continuously for at least 8 to 10 times, so that you get your sugar dissolved. This process is very important and very significant in making the filter coffee. It's because it serves 3 purposes. First is it gives a good broth. Second, it cools down the coffee to a drinkable temperature. And third, it dissolves the sugar that we had put in the very bottom. So it's called artifying in the colloquial language. And indeed, this is the first thing that people like us would want to do every morning, not just Sunday morning, every morning, until it achieves a good broth. You just have to keep doing this. The last one. Subscribe to my channel Kaapi&Kahani for more such trivial facts and tips for cooking. Let's discuss about Indian cuisine and culture revolving around it. Thank you.